Now, on football, we have not started supporting football yet. We shall support it. You will see what support means. Because Uganda had collapsed. The small colonial economy had collapsed under the regime of Idi Amin and those groups. So when we came in, the issue was to bring back the economy. And as we were bringing back the economy, the population was also growing. So we have been struggling with the issues of infrastructure, the issues of social services. We have not really supported sport. The only support we have given is peace.
Absolutely.
So with peace, this is how these fellows are coming up. They are coming up with minimum support. But once where we are going now, because the economy is growing but also transforming, you will see we shall really give support. Because of the latent talent, when we just brought peace, they just come up by themselves.
Absolutely.
Even the competitions are not thorough. Many of them are coming out by themselves because of the peace. So, but in where we are going, we shall give more support. And Uganda, of course, has got natural advantages, like the long-distance runners who are from the mountain area, where I don't know why the Basutu don't run, because they are from highlands.
They do run, but not as good as Ugandans.
Maybe it is not so high there.
Yeah. In Lesotho as well, it's high, but not as high as here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we have got some of our part of the country where the altitude is high.
That's right.
These are the ones you see winning all over the world.
Absolutely. And they make us proud, President. We want to thank you, President, the people of Uganda, for their sacrifices and for their contribution towards our liberation struggle and towards our freedom. And we have to keep teaching and keep reminding our children to always know that we've got a special and a very emotional bond and an emotional history. My organization is, the ANC is lots of headaches. Now, I can't speak for the ANC because of my relationships. I'm the worst person to talk. I'm not objective. But it starts with recognizing that we've made serious mistakes in the past and we have to fix those mistakes. But the most important thing is to thank you. And they were telling me that Mandela used to have a Ugandan passport. Now we know that. We were told that. Even when he was in prison, that the people of Uganda, yourself, and I just want to conclude that part by saying that we are eternally grateful. And that's why the future going forward, and of course we came to talk about sports, but you cannot separate development and growth of sports from economic and social progress, and it's important for us to continue trade amongst African countries. I had a meeting with President Macron last week, and before the meeting he was talking about, he spent 95% of his time talking about the EU, and less than 5% talking about France, because if you want to trade with the EU, you don't trade with France, you don't trade with Germany, you trade with the EU. So we are trying to teach our children that the unity of all Africans and the success of the people of Uganda and the progress of the people of Uganda, and thank you for your leadership, your inspirational leadership over many years, is the progress and development of the people of Southern Africa and the people of Africa, Eastern Africa. So we've got to maintain those bonds and the unity and the recognition that we need each other. Now, today we came to talk about football, President, and the first thing I want to do is to thank you, because the President, I don't know why he's sitting so far away, you know. The President of FUFA, football in Uganda. He always brags about the support you give football in this country, your passion and your love for football. Football is the most popular sport in Africa. And when I got off the plane, and the first thing I said was, I would like, with humility, to express our gratitude for your support, for your passion, the support for President Moses Magogo and football in this country. I own a football team, and the captain of that team is Dennis Onyango from Uganda.
Okay.
Dennis Onyango is not just the most popular football player in South Africa and today still in Uganda. He was voted one of the best in the world, one of the best goalkeepers.
Yes, he was our goalkeeper here.
He was the goalkeeper, and when my team were champions of Africa, it was because of him. But where Dennis Onyango comes from, there are hundreds and thousands of other Dennis Onyangos. This country has got immensely talented football players. Of course, immensely talented people overall in the economy, in science, in engineering, and we should support them. As I said, the focus today is more on football, and to thank you for your support, because football needs your support. And we had a meeting with MTN yesterday. Part of my duty is to encourage the private sector, because governments have got budgetary constraints.
Yes.
And it's worse, because we are not as wealthy as the European governments. We've just come out of COVID. So there are serious limitations to how we allocate the money. And we have to, it's our duty not just to recognize that, but also to support that. So it's big challenges, not in the developing world. So we are grateful that despite all of the challenges, the budgetary constraints, and are you going to give money for football? Are you going to give money for education? Are you going to give money to help at the stadium, or is it health? Because COVID is still a challenge. So I just want to conclude by expressing our deep gratitude as the president of CAF. I don't just talk on behalf of the people of Uganda, because this is my president, but also on behalf of the people in the 54 countries in Africa, to say thank you so much for your love for football, for your support for football, and to request that you continue the support and the love for the sport that you've shown over many years, because football is also pride, and we were watching Ugandan athletes. When Ugandan athletes do well, they make the people of Uganda very happy, but they make the people of Africa very happy. They are not just running for Uganda, they are running to show the world that we have got people in our continent, in sports, and in football, who are as good as the best in the world.
Yes.
So I just want to conclude by saying, President, thank you so much for your inspirational leadership, the outstanding manner, and how you've developed, and the confidence you've created, attracted investment, created jobs, provided political stability and economic growth. And to conclude by saying thank you for your support for football. Thank you for your support for my brother, our brother Moses Magogo, and the leadership, and request that you continue that financial support. The last thing is, it disappoints me that there are about 20 countries where the national team cannot play in their country because the stadium is not up to the standard of FIFA and CAF. Now, I had a press conference and I was saying the problem is not just, I'm the president of CAF, so I have to take responsibility for that. If there's a problem in football, whether I know or I don't know, I'm the president, I have to take responsibility. So the failures of some of our countries, where the stadiums are not up to the standard, we have to take responsibility in the first instance, and then request that we cannot fix them without your support and the support of the governments. So we will keep, I hope the next time I visit you, President, you'll I'll be on your farm to see your beautiful cattle, because cattle talks to my heart. And maybe you will give me a bigger discount than your colleague Ramaphosa. But thank you so much, and
thank you
for your support for football, and
thank you.
We are most grateful.
Your Excellency, I take this opportunity to thank you so much for hosting us, for hosting the President of Football in Africa, who is our brother from South Africa, but also take the opportunity to thank you for the support you are giving us as football, but also as sports. Because going forward, we began at a point where we would come to you, to State House, to ask for funding for the national teams to be able to perform. And in the period before that, the statistics show that we had qualified for the finals only 3 times in the past 30 years. But the day you started supporting us, the statistics have changed, that in the last 9 years since we started getting the support initially from State House and now in the national budget, we have qualified 10 times for the Africa Continental Finals. Our girls have also now been able to qualify after 22 years, and the boys qualified after 39 years, as you're aware. And the boys under 20 have also now played the finals, not only qualifying of Africa. Had it not been COVID, they had actually qualified for the World Cup. I take the opportunity to thank you, and I believe that with this support, there's a lot that football and general sports is going to do for us. Your Excellency, I'm aware that we have challenges, but at the moment, I'll just take the opportunity to thank you for hosting us and hosting our president. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It is out of sports that our tourism industry can grow, and it is only football that brings all of us together, irrespective of political affiliation, religious, tribal. It is only football that is a uniting factor. And for me, I would love to have a united Uganda. And most especially, we want to thank you so much for supporting sports. You'll find people like, FTC, everybody is in the club, and we are speaking one language as Uganda. And that is our passion for, as Parliament and as Ugandans. And we want to thank Mama equally for supporting the sports. She has also been passionate about the sports. And as Parliament of Uganda, we'll continue supporting the sports, especially with the approval and legislate in regards to sports. What can be done for our country be out there. Just imagine like Anu Nyango is making Uganda proud by being in South Africa. So if we can have so many of them outside there, of course, there's so many that can go out there. We need to identify the talents. The CAF president was talking about supporting students in sports. But I was telling him that it's not only students. We have so many people in the ghetto who have talents, but their talents cannot be tapped. And I was also happy in the before the COVID-19 came in, that you approved that we should have the drum, the sports drum, where we have competition among sub-regions. And once we have that drum, we'll be able to tap talents from a number of people.